Welcome back, nature lovers, to TVP Wildlife, where every heartbeat of the wild tells a story. Today, we're stepping into a world of quiet grace and timeless beauty. A world where sunlight filters through the trees, and the soft sound of hooves whispers across the forest floor. This is the realm of the deer, one of nature's most elegant and enchanting creatures. The deer has captured human imagination for centuries, a symbol of peace, gentleness, and freedom. Yet behind those calm, innocent eyes lies a life of instinct, struggle, and incredible resilience. In the wild, survival is a delicate dance, and the deer, with its keen senses and unmatched agility, performs it like no other. In this documentary, we'll follow the deer across meadows and woodlands, through the rhythm of seasons, from the tender days of spring to the fierce trials of winter. We'll explore how it lives, loves, fights, and sings the silent songs of survival. So, find a quiet place, take a deep breath, and let's journey together into the forest to meet the graceful wanderer of the wild. If the forest had a heartbeat, it would echo in the footsteps of the deer. In the soft light of dawn, the forest awakens. A mist curls between the trees, and a gentle rustle breaks the silence. There, almost invisible among the shadows, stands a deer, poised, alert, and radiant with quiet elegance. From the tips of its velvet-covered antlers to the fragile flick of its tail, every line of its body speaks of balance and grace. The deer seems to move not by muscle and bone, but by music, gliding through the undergrowth as if the forest itself were guiding its path. Its legs, long and slender, are masterpieces of evolution, built for both speed and silence. When danger calls, the deer can leap more than 2 meters high and sprint at over 60 kilometers per hour. Yet when the world is calm, those same legs carry it gently, leaving barely a trace on the forest floor. Every step is a whisper, every breath a song of survival. Look closer at its eyes, large, deep, almost sorrowful. They are positioned wide on the head, giving the deer nearly 310 degrees of vision. It can see what's behind it without turning, sensing danger before others even notice the wind shift. And those ears, swiveling like radar dishes, catch even the faintest sound of a snapping twig. For the deer, awareness is everything. In the wild, one heartbeat too slow can mean the difference between life and death. And then, there are the antlers, nature's crown. Each year, males grow them anew in an extraordinary cycle of life and regeneration. In spring, soft tissue nourished by blood, called velvet, covers these growing bones. By summer, the velvet dries and peels away, revealing sharp, polished tines ready for the season's challenges. Antlers are not merely ornaments. They are weapons, signals, and symbols of dominance. When two stags clash during the rutting season, their antlers lock in a dance of raw strength and primal ritual, a contest that decides who leads, who mates, and who walks away in glory. But beyond the fight, there's something almost poetic about this renewal. When winter fades and the days grow longer, the deer's antlers fall away. They drop silently into the undergrowth like forgotten crowns, only to grow again, stronger, year after year. It's a quiet reminder that nature never stops changing, never stops creating. The deer's coat, too, is a masterpiece of adaptation. In summer, it wears a reddish-brown cloak that blends seamlessly with the forest's warmth. Come winter, that coat thickens and fades to a grayish hue, perfectly suited for snow and shadow. Some species, like the white-tailed deer, even flash their tails as warning signals, a flicker of white that alerts others in the herd to danger. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about the deer isn't its beauty or speed. It's the way it moves through the world. The deer doesn't fight the forest, it flows with it. Every pause, every step, every glance seems choreographed by instinct and wind. While predators rely on aggression, the deer relies on awareness, stillness, and the wisdom of retreat. In a world that rewards survival of the fiercest, the deer thrives by being the gentlest. In some ancient cultures, the deer was seen as a bridge between worlds, the messenger of gods, the spirit of the forest, the keeper of paths unseen. Its presence was said to bring peace, its gaze to awaken the heart. And even today, when we encounter a deer in the wild, something in us goes quiet. We feel, if only for a moment, that we've stepped into a world purer than our own, where time slows, and the earth still breathes softly beneath our feet. As the sun climbs higher, the deer melts back into the forest, leaving only the faint print of its hooves on the damp earth. It has no need for applause, no desire for attention. Its beauty is in its being, quiet, elusive, eternal, in every forest. There walks a story, written not in words, but in the sound of hooves against fallen leaves. To understand the deer, you must first understand its world, a world shaped by silence, patience, and the rhythm of survival. The forest is never truly still. Beneath its calm, life pulses in countless forms, rustling leaves, fluttering wings, and somewhere between the trees, the soft echo of hooves. This is where the deer thrives. It is not a ruler of the wild, nor a conqueror. It is a participant, perfectly attuned to the music of its surroundings. As dawn breaks, the herd begins to stir. A group of females, called does, move gracefully through the mist, followed closely by their fawns. Their coats, dappled with white spots, mirror the play of sunlight through leaves, a camouflage written by evolution itself. The young stay close to their mothers, learning the unspoken language of survival. When to feed, when to freeze, and when to flee. Nearby, the stag, a mature male, stands guard. He moves little, his eyes scanning the distance. Every muscle in his body seems at rest, yet none is truly relaxed. His life is an endless balance between calm and readiness. Even when the forest appears safe, he listens for what cannot be seen, the faintest shift in wind, the murmur of danger, the distant call of a predator. Deer are social, yet cautious. They live in loose herds, not bound by rigid hierarchy, but by shared instinct. Safety lies in numbers. When one senses danger, the entire group reacts as one. A flick of a tail, a sudden stillness, and within seconds, the forest becomes empty again. It's as if the deer were never there at all. Their days are woven between feeding and resting. Deer are herbivores, feeding on leaves, grasses, fruits, and tender shoots. They move quietly from patch to patch, never overgrazing one area. A natural gardener of the forest, helping plants regenerate and seeds to spread. Each mouthful is chosen with care. Each pause a chance to listen to the forest's whispers. In the heat of day, they retreat into the shade, beneath thickets or the cool edges of streams. The fawns lie hidden, motionless, their scent masked by the earth. For predators like wolves, tigers, or leopards, the fawn's stillness is both shield and prayer. A mother will often graze nearby, pretending to wander, but her heart beats only for the small life concealed in the grass. As dusk falls, the deer re-emerge. The air cools, and the forest hums anew. This is their moment, the golden hour of the wild. The herd moves again through the open meadows, silhouettes outlined by the sinking sun. Soft calls pass between them, short bleats, gentle snorts, the language of safety and togetherness. These are not random sounds. They are messages, warnings, greetings, reassurance. For the deer, communication is not about words. It's about rhythm, the shared pulse of trust that keeps the herd alive. In winter, when food grows scarce and snow buries the earth, deer shift their patterns. Some migrate to lower valleys where vegetation is still reachable. Others rely on bark and twigs. Their coats grow thick, and fat reserves sustain them through the cold. The forest may seem lifeless, but deep within it, the deer endures, a living ember in the frozen silence. But not every day is peace. Life in the wild is a game of constant vigilance. The deer's greatest enemy is fear, not as weakness, but as wisdom. A sudden scent of a predator can send the entire herd bounding away in seconds, leaping through obstacles with breathtaking agility. They run not in panic, but in perfect choreography, each deer following invisible lines of instinct, guided by thousands of generations that learned which paths lead to life. At night, under the pale moonlight, the forest takes on a different tone. Eyes gleam in the darkness, some of predator, some of prey. The deer's eyes reflect light, glowing like distant stars. For them, night vision is survival. They move carefully, ears twitching at every sound, hearts steady yet alert. Even as they graze, the herd positions itself so that no one stands alone. There is safety in the circle, a unity born not of words, but of understanding. And in that circle lies something deeply emotional, a sense of belonging. The bond between mother and fawn, the trust between members of a herd, the silent coordination that saves them all. It is a kind of language that humans once knew, but have long forgotten. To watch a herd of deer move together is to witness harmony itself. No leader commands, no follower questions. The forest breathes through them, and they through it. Perhaps the secret of the deer's survival lies not in strength, but in awareness. Not in dominance, but in balance. By the time dawn comes again, the forest seems new. The deer, once hidden, emerge quietly to feed again, as if yesterday's dangers never happened. In their world, there is no past or future, only the present moment, lived fully, beautifully, and without hesitation. And so, the deer continues its journey, from forest to meadow, from dusk to dawn, living not in defiance of nature, but in perfect rhythm with it. A graceful wanderer in a world that never stops moving. In the wild, silence is never empty. It speaks in the rustle of leaves, in the pause before a heartbeat. For the deer, that silence is a language, the language of survival. The forest may look peaceful, but beneath its calm beauty lies constant tension. Life and death move together here, separated only by a whisper. For the deer, every moment is a test, every breeze a message, every sound a question that must be answered quickly or not at all. To survive, the deer has mastered a subtle art, the reading of the invisible. It senses the world in ways we can barely imagine. Its nostrils, wide and sensitive, can detect the scent of a predator long before the eyes can see. Its ears, always twitching, catch the faintest crack of a twig or the distant footstep of a wolf. Its body reacts before its mind can reason, an ancient reflex written into its DNA by millions of years of survival. When danger nears, the deer does not panic. It becomes still, utterly still. No movement, no sound, only breath. The forest seems to hold its breath with it. In that stillness, the deer listens. It calculates. Is the wind in its favor? Is the threat moving closer or passing by? The deer trusts this silence, because silence to it is not absence. It is information. But when the moment breaks, when the rustle becomes a roar, everything changes. In a blur of motion, the deer explodes into life. Its muscles, coiled and ready, launch it across the forest floor with astonishing grace. Branches snap, hooves pound, and yet somehow it seems to fly rather than run. Each leap clears obstacles taller than its own height. The world around it turns to chaos, but the deer's mind is calm. It knows where to go. It always does. In the art of escape, the deer is a master, not through power, but through precision. Predators rely on fear, the deer on awareness. When chased, it will suddenly change direction, leaping sideways to confuse pursuit. It knows the forest's paths like a memory carved into its soul, where the ground is soft, where the shadows hide it best. Some species, like the white-tailed deer, even flash their tails in warning, a signal that says, "I see you." Don't waste your energy. It's more than just a gesture, it's strategy. A message that often ends the chase before it begins. The deer's ability to communicate danger is another marvel. A quick snort, sharp and loud, ripples through the herd, a universal alarm. Heads rise, ears point, and in a second, the group vanishes. Sometimes, the warning comes not from sound but from behavior, a sudden tension, a stare in one direction. Others notice, others follow. The deer's language has no words, yet it is perfectly understood. Even the youngest fawns are fluent in it. From birth, they are taught the rhythm of stillness, how to lie motionless in tall grass, their spotted coats blending into the forest floor. A fawn's heart can slow almost by will, conserving energy, suppressing scent. Its mother may leave it alone for hours, knowing that motionless silence is its safest armor. When danger passes, she returns, a soft grunt, a gentle nudge, and the world is safe again. But the deer's survival is not only in its senses, it's in its resilience. Predators take the weak, the slow, the injured. Yet even then, the deer's spirit remains unbroken. It never gives up easily. There are countless stories of stags surviving with broken antlers, of those limping through winter snow to nurse their young. For them, endurance is not a choice. It is the essence of life itself. In the dead of winter, when hunger bites and the world turns cold, the deer adapts again. Its metabolism slows. It eats bark, lichens, anything it can find. It conserves energy, standing still for hours in the snow, waiting for the sun. It has no shelter, no fire, no walls, only instinct and will. And yet, somehow, it survives. While others sleep, the deer endures. That is its way. Quiet strength, carved in patience. But the deer's story is not just one of escape. It's about balance, between courage and caution, between fear and trust. The deer teaches us that survival isn't always about fighting back. Sometimes, it's about knowing when to move, when to wait, when to yield to the rhythm of the world. And sometimes, that language of survival sounds almost like wisdom. Because when the forest breathes, the deer listens. When the predator stalks, the deer adapts. And when the night grows long, the deer endures, not as prey, but as a testament to life's quiet brilliance. In the wild, survival isn't about being the strongest. It's about being in the wild, love is not a word. It's a season, a brief, powerful rhythm when life itself chooses to begin again. As the frost of winter melts and the first green shoots pierce the earth, the forest awakens to new light. The air hums with energy. Birds sing, streams run fast, and somewhere, deep within the woodlands, the deer feel it too, a stirring older than memory, written in their blood. It's the call of the rutting season, the time when love and competition weave together into the great cycle of life. The stag, once calm and solitary, transforms. His eyes sharpen, his neck thickens, and his antlers, polished and gleaming, become both crown and weapon. He marks his territory with scent, scraping trees and pawing the ground, leaving silent messages for rivals and does alike. The air fills with tension, invisible, electric, alive. Then one morning, a sound breaks through the mist, a low, resonant bellow. It echoes through the valley like a challenge, a song, a declaration of power. Other stags answer, and suddenly, the forest becomes a stage for one of nature's oldest dramas. Two males approach, their breath steaming in the cold air. They circle, stare, and finally clash. Antlers lock, muscles strain, the earth trembles beneath them. The fight is fierce but brief. There is no hatred here, only instinct, the raw, magnificent drive to continue the bloodline. The victor stands tall, his chest heaving, antlers glistening in the sun. The defeated stag retreats into the shadows, dignity intact. For the winner, a moment of peace, for now. He's the guardian of the herd. The does gather nearby, graceful and quiet. Courtship among deer is subtle, a dance of scent and gesture. The stag lowers his head, exhales softly, and the doe responds with delicate steps, a glance, a turn, no words, no songs. Just the quiet poetry of movement. And when mating is done, the forest returns to its stillness, as if nothing had happened. But within the doe's body, a miracle begins. Through the harsh months of winter, she carries new life. Snow falls, rivers freeze, food grows scarce, yet she endures. Her strength lies not in force, but in patience. When spring returns, she seeks a hidden place, a hollow beneath the trees, a nest of grass, and there, in silence, she gives birth. There are few moments in nature more sacred than the first breath of a newborn fawn. The fawn arrives trembling, wet, fragile, a spark of life wrapped in vulnerability. Its legs, long and unsteady, struggle to lift it toward its mother's warmth. Within minutes, it stands. Within an hour, it walks. The doe licks it clean, removing scent that might attract predators. She whispers soft grunts, the first notes of a bond that will define their lives. For the first days, the fawn lies hidden. It does not follow the herd yet. Its survival depends on stillness. The mother grazes nearby, returning every few hours to nurse it. Her eyes are always alert. Every shadow could be danger. Every gust of wind, a warning. But even in this peril, there is profound tenderness, the kind that speaks not of emotion as humans know it, but of devotion written by nature itself. Weeks pass, the fawn grows stronger, its spots fading as it learns the ways of the forest. It practices small jumps, mock runs, learning to move with the same fluid grace as its elders. When it finally joins the herd, there's a sense of ceremony. In its every step, the young one has entered the living rhythm of the wild. But life in the forest is never without trial. Not every fawn survives the first year. Some fall to predators, others to hunger or disease. Yet even in loss, the herd continues because the deer's true legacy is not in the individual, but in the continuation. Each generation carries forward the wisdom of countless ancestors. How to listen to the wind, how to hide in the tall grass, how to move with the earth rather than against it. And some creatures survive the wild, others define it. And then there are those, like the deer, that remind us what harmony truly means. Morning light spills gently over the forest. Dew glitters on the grass, and mist drifts through the trees like memory. The deer stands once again at the edge of the clearing, calm, radiant, timeless. It doesn't rule the forest, nor bow to it. It belongs here, as naturally as the wind or the rain. Every part of its life, the way it feeds, moves, and breeds, is perfectly tuned to the rhythm of the world around it. When the deer grazes, it trims young plants, helping new growth rise from beneath. When it walks, it carries seeds in its fur, scattering life wherever it goes. When it falls to predators, it gives back what it has taken, feeding the hungry and closing the sacred circle of life. In every breath the deer takes, the forest breathes with it. It is this balance, the quiet give and take, that defines the deer's place in nature. It is not a conqueror nor a victim, but a bridge connecting life and death, stillness and motion, fragility and strength. The deer reminds us that harmony isn't about peace without struggle. It's about coexistence through understanding. In the grand theater of the wild, the deer plays its part with humility. Its beauty doesn't scream for attention. It whispers. It doesn't fight for dominance. It moves with grace. And perhaps that's why, across centuries and cultures, humans have looked upon the deer not just as an animal, but as a symbol of gentleness, purity, and the spirit of nature itself. An ancient myth. The deer guided heroes through dark forests, leading them toward wisdom.